Hello. Life is invariably beset with personal catastrophe. You hardly ever get all you desire. You encounter frustration, rejection, shock, and loss. Today we'll discuss how you can learn to handle life's hardships without letting them affect your happiness and well-being. Can you do it? Yes. Studies in psychology and neurosciences tell us that we are more flexible than we think in our ability to adapt to life events. Well, you can say it's easier said than done, and you can say that to imagine and fear trauma is entirely different from experiencing it. You're right, but still a lot depends on how you choose to respond to adversity. Don't underestimate your own resilience to life events. Some years ago, a friend of mine had a terrible car accident at 39 years of age. As a truck ran over their car, one of the three people in the car died and the other two, including my friend Jean, was severely injured. Jean was in critical condition, had several surgeries and had to go through a long and painful rehabilitation. It was the last thing he could have expected at a time when his life was at the peak of its prowess. However, Jean chose to fight his way back without despairing, and now fit, he is grateful for the experience as it brought him closer to his family, taught him to be more grateful, and made him understand what truly matters. Scientists refer to this phenomenon as post-traumatic growth, denoting positive psychological changes that are experienced as a result of adversity. So understanding how people like Jean can emerge from prolonged trauma with positive takeaways can help you fight the unhappiness brought on by your own circumstances. It'll help you cultivate the ability to adjust your internal expectations to control your outlook. It shows that you have never lost everything as long as you retain the freedom to choose your response. Your response to everything from dangerous situations to everyday routine shapes your life. In choosing your response, you affirm your autonomy. The founder of positive psychology, Martin Seligman, sums it up well when he says, "I see events as successes or failures of personal control." The great Russian writer Fyodor Dostoevsky once said, "There is only one thing that I dread, not to be worthy of my suffering." The way in which you accept difficulties and suffering defines you. There are two keys to it. Let's discuss them one by one. The first key is attention, and it lies in the ability to control your attention. It can improve your quality of life regardless of circumstances. You can rightly say there are limits to the pain and suffering the human body and spirit can cope with. But wait, the latest research on the brain has shown its amazing plasticity and capacity to self-heal. Dr. Sival Mills had everything a young man could ask for. He was a high flyer, excelling at both studies and sports. It all changed in December 2000 when Mills was 26. Only a couple of days before completing his hospital internship, he was driving to meet his girlfriend and got into an accident. When he regained consciousness, he found himself in a hospital, unable to move. Much as Mills tried, he was unable to stir a muscle in his body except for his eyes. It was terrifying and devastating. His family realized he was conscious only when his eyes laughed at a cartoon his sister showed him. Diagnosed with locked-in syndrome, Mills had to learn how to communicate with his eye movements using a spelling chart. It took him a while to spell out his first sentence, which was, "Love you, Mom." Following 2 years of physical therapy, Mills regained the ability to move his left thumb. With a gadget he developed himself, he typed out his first inspirational book titled "This Too Shall Pass." He then also regained movement in his neck and his left arm and partial movement in his leg. In 2009, Mills completed a 350-mile bike ride for charity across South Africa on a specially adapted quad bike. He also took up scuba diving as a hobby and authored 2 more books, The Truth About Wheels and This Will Still Pass. Mills lived an active and inspired life till he passed away in 2015. Some people are able to live through their life noticeably free from problems beyond their control, right? But most of us, when you also include your families and close ones, are faced with at least one serious hard luck, one serious challenge or misfortune at any given time. Accidents, mental disorders, or diseases like cancer involve factors beyond your control. What matters then is your response to the situation. You can't change the structure of reality itself, but you can change your own life. As in the case of Mills, a big personal devastation that removes the center of life may help enhance the victim's life in new and unforeseen ways. The same setback that breaks one person becomes a new beginning for another. The difference lies in how they cope with it. Positive people are an asset to humanity. They not only cope with their troubles in a productive manner, but also improve the mood of people around them. The great physicist Stephen Hawking is an amazing example of how motor neuron disease wasn't enough to dent his remarkable humor, let alone defeat his spirit and his gift to visualize scientific solutions. Instead, it stimulated him to greater creativity up to his last breath. Hawking kept admiring the beauty of the laws of the universe that he was deciphering. Mills and Hawking's lives answered the question of how to control attention in the face of suffering and grow in the ordeal. There are 3 important ingredients of such an approach. Number 1, undeterred sense of self. Such people don't doubt their own resources to be able to tame adversity. They are confident but not egoistic as they seek harmony and not dominance. The humility to accept that their goals may have to be subordinated to the will of God or to the laws of the universe gives them an unusual strength. To be at this level of sense of self, you must believe in your place in your world, like a good captain knows the sea to steer their ship through stormy waters. Number 2, absence of self-absorption. In a menacing situation, it's usual to become self-absorbed, but this only undermines your ability to cope and leaves you isolated in your own world. Whereas staying connected with the outside enhances the flexibility of your response based on a wider view of possibilities. People who know to turn challenges into opportunities don't spend time thinking about themselves driven by their desires, concerns, or ego. Their attention is focused outward, continually sorting out information in relation to what they want to accomplish. Connect with your surroundings through attention. Number 3, focus on solutions and not problems. When in difficulty, don't say yes to your instinctive response without fully considering all the options. Focus on the entire situation, including yourself, to understand the range of realistic options and then select one and get obstacles to it out of the way. And that brings us to the second key, which is interpretation. Learning to interpret life's difficulties as challenges. So here are 4 things you can do to develop this skill. Number 1, learn to make decisions. Be decisive. Hesitancy kills joy. Making a choice, on the other hand, means reorientation of attention, which then can't be deployed elsewhere. Learn to make choices from important matters to simple, everyday decisions without much chaos in the mind. When you make a choice, exclude other options and take ownership of your decisions. This will help you learn accepting challenges. Number 2, develop ability to focus. Focus enhances the quality of your involvement, which automatically directs you to carefully match your activities to your skill. Invest full attention in whatever you're doing. Number 3, build sustaining engagement. The quality of engagement is enhanced by receiving constant feedback from attention. Athletes are aware that a moment of losing attention can spell disaster. The strength of involvement elbows out any self-consciousness, which is the biggest source of anxiety. So you must know to sustain involvement in the task at hand. Number 4, live in the present. The present moment, whether pleasant or difficult, is all you have. Accept then act. Don't let what you can't control upset you. Oh, it got a little complicated. Let me sum up the second key. When you know to make a choice, live in the present, have the ability to focus and stay engaged, you can enjoy life and be happy even when external conditions are adverse. And this is what enables you to effortlessly interpret life's difficulties as challenges to respond to. I hope you found it of practical value. Now it's time for you to share in the comments below some of the things that have helped you cope with adverse circumstances. Who knows? Sharing experience can change someone's life. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.